Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking into more Am I the A-hole posts. So sit back, relax, grab yourself some nice tea or some coffee, and enjoy. Okay, so this first story is titled, Am I the A-hole? Please let me know if I am. That's all there is to it. Am I the a-hole? I'm 20 female and my fiance is male 27. When did you get together? And went with a trip to his best friend. Okay, the male went on a trip with his best friend, male in his mid-20s. His best friend's house states away from where we live together for an event. Okay, there's not that much punctuation, so I'm sorry if there's a lot of stuttering or reading stuff. He stood at his house for the first He stood at his house for the first night, and now they are in a hotel room, sharing a queen-size bed. Okay. I told my fiance I don't like that, and it's kind of weird and disrespectful towards me to share a bed with someone else, no matter the gender. Really? Is your fiance straight or bi? This turned into a big fight over text, and he got mad at me. I simply just told him that I have bad experience with sharing bed with people. I'm sorry, this OP isn't the best with grammar and punctuation. Okay, so they've had bad experiences with sharing a bed with people. You have the experience. I have my own horror story and I hear a lot from my closest friends, and he suddenly dropped the conversation, didn't even want to talk about it. We moved on to the next thing. Probably because you're accusing him of cheating, and then you're also insinuating his sexuality when he could be either sensitive about it or just straight. Here's some background. His best friend always treats him amazingly and pays for stuff. I've never met this man before because he lives 11 hours away and my fiance goes on solo trips twice a year for events out there like Indy 5000 such like. Okay, this grammar is sending me. I'm sorry. My fiance and I aren't in the best financial situation. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Maybe that's why the best friend pays for things. Just saying. We live in a crappy one-bedroom apartment. I just lost my job due to undiagnosed chronic health issues, and he's providing for me, unfortunately. But lately, his best friend has been buying him absurd amounts of things from places he goes, and sending my fiance pictures of himself with his haircut and asking him what should we do, and he's being all touchy-feely with him, and mainly within the last year. Example, hugging between has become more frequent when they see each other and talking about feelings, undisclosed, in quotes. My fiance told me because he doesn't want to break his friend's trust. Hey, wait, let me just recount. Your male your male cis male fiance has a cis male friend, and you are pissed that they are talking about their feelings, which is something a lot of cisgender men don't do. And you're jealous that this friend is supporting him because, sorry to sound like a bitch, but you can't. Are you jealous? As well, his best friend does have a girlfriend. Okay, so why are you mad? Why are you mad? He's apparently looking to propose soon. Why are you mad then? This person, I think, may be the a-hole. Why are you mad? Like, it's one thing to be skeptical of someone cheating, but to be skeptical of both of them cheating, especially if, like, they're both straight. For extra background, he was joking the other day that his best friend might be gay and have a thing for him with all the stuff he got for him, and I tagged along in the joke, and he completely got upset and told him to be quiet. Okay, so the friend got upset. My fiance has some feminine characteristics to him because he basically only grew up with his mom. And we talked about this in the beginning of the relationship because we started dating and he is not good. Okay, you just have something against feminine men. You just have something against men who like to talk about their feelings. I'm just confused, and am I the asshole for saying it's disrespectful to sleep someone in someone else's bed? I'm just gonna say in someone else's bed, whether in a relationship or just best friends. You are the a-hole. I've shared beds with people before, and it's meant absolutely nothing because guess what? Sleepovers, couch surfing, like, unfortunately couch surfing was in my life. I'm just so confused. Is this OP just mad that two guys shared a queen-size bed and just so happened to be a little bit effeminate? Like, not just that, but you're both in a relationship, like they're both in a relationship. You're in a relationship with him, and his best friend is willing to propose to his girlfriend. I don't understand. This person is very. See, this is why a lot of men can't talk about their feelings because there's judgment like this, and this is nothing. Like, you can have your insecurities, you can have your doubts, but talk about it. And like, it's okay to joke between friends, but if someone's getting really defensive about their sexuality, it's probably because they're struggling with it. And do you not know that bisexual exists? I do believe this person's the asshole just because of the way they're talking about gender roles and people in general. Like, he's not gay, even though he's feminine, he's not gay. Like, calm down, sweetie. He's clearly not if he's dating you, and even if he was, like, have you ever heard of bisexual, pansexual? Like, I think this person is the a-hole. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. Am I the a-hole for telling my son not to invite my wife to his graduation? Okay, your wife, telling your son not to invite your wife. I, 36 male, have a son, 17 male, that is graduating high school this year. His mum and I split up when he was young, and I got married to my now wife, 37F. Oh, is it your ex-wife or your current wife? Okay, I'm gonna read. I need to stop. His mum doesn't live super close, so my son mostly stays with me, but he'll call her a few times a week and go over to her house on long weekends. My son wanted to invite me, my wife, his mum, and his brother, 19 male, to his graduation, but each student only gets up to 3 tickets. My son tried asking if he could get one more, but they told him since the school auditorium wasn't very big, they wouldn't have enough seating if they gave students extra tickets. Yeah, I mean, if the school gave him an extra ticket, then people would be like, okay, what about me? They did tell him that the school usually does a raffle for extra tickets if they have any open spots, but the tickets aren't guaranteed. My son talked to me about it and said that he didn't know what to do because he wanted both his mum and my wife there. He said that he could just invite my wife if it was easier and celebrate with his mum separately. I know that my son is still close with his mum, even though he doesn't see her as often anymore. So I told him that unless there was a specific reason he didn't want her there, he should probably invite his mum first and put his name in for the raffle to try and get one for my wife. He seemed happy with this idea and called his mum to tell her. Okay, that's very, very mature, considering you've had to divorce due to whatever reason. That's so mature. That is an extremely. You put your son's feelings first. That's so mature. Earlier today, my wife was asking my son about the graduation, and he told her that he didn't have enough tickets for everyone, but he was trying to get an extra one for her. She asked who he had given the tickets to, and he said me, his brother, and his mum. She seemed upset and a bit surprised but didn't say anything else. Okay, why is she not like focusing on the fact that he's underlined trying real hard to earn an extra ticket, which is something that's quite difficult because not everyone can have an extra ticket and he's got to enter a raffle. He's trying to earn another ticket just for her. I'm sorry, but if I had someone who was going out of their way to try and earn another ticket just so I could be at their event, girl, I would be paying them to enter the raffle. Like, how cute is that? That's adorable. One of my cats, Smokey, has found some catnip, and she's being very cute. Her little feet are in the air. Later, she asked if I could ask my son to give the ticket to her instead of his mum. I understand that your wife is in the place of like, I'm looking after him now, but to your son, his biological mother means a lot more. This mother has got to respect his boundaries. And I told her no because it was his choice. Thank you. You are an amazing parent. And he has already told his mum. She said that she didn't understand why he would give it to his mum when she doesn't even see her that often, when he doesn't even see her that often, and that he should have given her the ticket. Why? He considered you, but realized he couldn't, and he's still trying to win you a ticket. He's trying real hard to win you a ticket. Focus on that. There's a lot of people that just focus on the negatives and not the positives. I told her that I told him to invite his mum, and even if he doesn't see her as often, it doesn't mean that his mum doesn't matter to him. She got upset and asked why I would tell him that, and wouldn't I rather spend the day with her instead of my ex? I said that it didn't matter. It didn't matter what I thought because my son is really close with his mum, and and just because I've had issues with her, it doesn't mean that he does too. This is so mature. You're willing to put up with an ex, someone who you have no connection with, just to appease your son. I'm very here for this dad. Now my wife is mad at me and accused me of just wanting to see my ex. You mentioned nothing about like wanting to see the ex. You kept mentioning it's for your son. I'm sorry, has she got a sore shoulder with all that reaching she's doing? I do want my wife to come to the graduation, but I think that it's more important that my son has his mum there. Am I the a-hole? You are not the a-hole. You are a perfect example of a fantastic dad. You are putting all of your like discomforts aside and you are willing to, have this discussion with your wife just to make your son happy and let your son have the choice. You gave that choice to your son. Letting him know that he's in control of who he can have at his graduation, that's great. And again, his graduation, his choice. You are not the a-hole, you are a diamond of a father. Oh, surprise, surprise, we have an edit, which is more of an update thing. Okay, edit. I just wanted to add a bit of information because a lot of people have been asking. Me and my wife have been married for almost 3 years. 3 years is quite a bit of time to be married to someone. And she met my kids about a year or two before. Okay, so you've been seeing each other for a while. My oldest son does want to come to the graduation, and I know that my younger son does want his brother to be there. So I'm not going to ask him to give up the ticket. I mean, yeah, siblings do tend to be closer to each other, especially if there's like a split in the family, siblings become closer. Also, I know I should have talked to my wife about it before, but I wanted to wait until my son was 100% sure who he wanted to come. No, I think talking to your son was a better idea because it's his graduation. He called his mum the day before all this happened and let me know in the morning, so I was planning to talk to her that night. I know I should have told her before, and that is my fault. I don't really care because you did the other right things. Like your wife should just be happy that like her stepson is graduating. Can't she celebrate after? Also, my son is going to ask some of his friends if they have an extra ticket. My wife won't be home today, but I'm going to talk to her tonight. Okay, I hope it goes well. But your son is trying so hard, and so are you. And this wife is not seeing that. She's only seeing the negative, and it's really sad that she can't see the how much you're both trying to include her and trying to include everyone. But she's like, no, you should cut out other important family members just so I can be there because I don't want you with your ex. Who cares if the ex is there or not? He's probably not even going to be sat with the ex. She's not even like the biological mother, and I know that's not right to say, but in this situation, the son is close with both biological parents, so let him have a say. Anyway, I'm going to move on because this is stressful. Am I the a-hole for speaking in French with my date's friend? No. Girl, if you can speak another language, flex it. I, 29M, have been going out with someone, 27M. Ooh. Okay, that makes sense. The gays love to speak French. I met online for the last couple of weeks. We are not dating and do not plan to in the short term at least. Okay? As long as you're both on the same page, fantastic. But we like each other's company and we hang out quite often. Last weekend, my date asked me if I wanted to hang out with some of his friends. I did not really mind, so we decided to do a half-day excursion out to the city together. I got along with all his friends except for one girl. She came across as extremely pretentious as well as fake. Why? And in general, I got a really cold vibe from her. Okay, I hope there's more context because this just sounds judgmental. Throughout the day, there were at least a dozen times where I had to roll my eyes to what she was saying. I mentioned it to my date, but he seemed to agree, but said she has always been like this, and although none of his friends really like hanging out with her, but they don't want to abandon her because they have known each other since their undergrad days. Okay, are they just being a bit judgmental? Like, I understand that to some people, people can be deemed a bitch for having like a resting bitch face or for not having a filter or for just having sarcastic commentary. I do need more context as to why you judged this woman. Mostly because in the gay community, a lot of gay men do hate on women for no reason. So I don't want that to be happening. Anyway, after we came back from the small road trip, we decided to get dinner before heading back to our place. While at dinner, we were talking about our favorite travel experiences, and specifically food experiences within these cities. I mentioned my time in the French countryside, and how one of my favorite things to do was grab a freshly baked croissant. I mean, a freshly baked almond croissant is even better. With a coffee. This girl looks at me confusingly and asks what is that. I was genuinely confused at this point if she did not know what a croissant was, but that seemed ridiculous. So I said a croissant, like the French pastry, and she exclaimed, "Oh, a croissant." I was genuinely pissed at this, and in response I said in immaculate French, with an accent of course, "Oh, I did not know you spoke French, how exciting. I have been looking for someone to practice my French with, and maybe we can do that together. What's your favorite French dish, by the way?" There was absolute silence at the table, and she looked dumbfounded at me. I broke the silence by saying, "Oh, I thought you spoke French." Okay, so if I'm getting this right, you said a croissant, and she was like, "A what?" And then you was like, "The French pastry," and she was like, "Oh, a croissant." Okay, is that what happened? Or are you just being judgmental? Because I'm a little bit confused. Okay, I thought you spoke French. I don't exactly remember what happened after, but somebody must have said something and we moved on from the topic. Post dinner, I received a text from my date saying that I was being an asshole for the little performance of mine, and it was not required, and she told him that she felt humiliated. Am I the a-hole? Okay, I think no one's the a-hole here, but you're all like a little sucky. You're judging. I need more context. Like maybe she was one of those people who were like, "Oh, you mean a croissant?" Like rolling the R and like without using the T, a croissant. Maybe that is true. Maybe I should take your word for it, but at the same time, like that's the only context I have to go off. There's no context other than you rolling her eyes and her vibe was cold. I don't understand. Plus, you didn't have to just show off in perfect French to be like, "Oh, I know how to speak another language." Like, I know I said at the beginning flex. Yes, flex. But you could have been like, croissant, right? Croissant. And then if she corrected me, "Oh, croissant," be like, "Yeah, that." If she is being the pretentious person you are claiming, don't give her the satisfaction. Just be like, "Yeah, that." I don't know. This is so weird. I don't know. Like, again, like I said earlier, a lot of gay men hate on women for no reason. So I'm very like hesitant to support OP and his word, but at the same time I can understand like because I've seen people who are like, "Oh, it's pronounced this." But at the same time, I am that person who no, I don't correct people because I have like some speech impediments where I say B instead of V and like P and F I mix them up. But I have a resting bitch face and I can be very monotone, especially around people I don't speak to often. So people think that I'm a bitch because I'm just monotone with a resting bitch face, but I'm not. I just like don't think. It's just my relaxed, comfortable expressions. I don't know. This is really. I don't know if you can hear how much I'm trying to come to a conclusion here. I'm reaching harder than the OP before. I don't know. I think it's a bit of an a-hole thing to just judge someone you've never met before. Maybe she's like scared because I mean, I've said some like silly things because I'm scared of a new friend group and then I've been like, yeah, okay, that was kind of silly. I'm sorry. Like nothing offensive, just haha, this funny thing, right? Right? No one laughed and I'm like, sorry. I'm awkward. I don't know. I don't think I just need more information on this one. I just can't. I'm just gonna leave that one there. I more information's needed on that one. Yeah, don't judge people before you get to know them. Also, don't be that person who corrects people on their pronunciation, especially if you don't speak that language. Anyway, thank you for tuning into this video, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe and have a wonderful time, my darlings. Mwah.